It's a new day, a new moment, it's another moment in time and space, and I'm over here and you're over there, and somehow we're here together, even though this is the past and will be the future into as the viewer, your future. It's pretty wild that I'm talking to myself in this moment and yet also talking to you. So thanks for listening and being here with me. It's like we're all here together, and yet also, in our own separate little worlds and universes, and we're sharing something, and also it's very different. And I'm leaving a cleaning client right now. I'm in St. Louis City, driving around and catching a little bit of glimpse of the damage from the storm. I'm not in the thick of it right now, of where it really hit, but there's lots of trees down, not as much damage to buildings I'm seeing with where I'm at, but I've seen so many videos and pictures the past week since it hit. I don't remember exactly the day, but it's really, really intense how much damage this city took, and it's really heartbreaking. And just how many people are out of housing and out of power and electricity and running water, and and also I just saw a post about how, because of so many of the brick structures that the architecture, that these buildings, that if they had been what did they call the other form of building that isn't brick laid, it's just like how they build most buildings, it's cheaper to do that than do brick, that these buildings would be completely off the map entirely, just like blown away. But because of the architecture and the brick, that these buildings are still, some of them are still here, some got completely just destroyed, but there is repair is possible, and so amidst like all of the damage and devastation, there are so many people coming together right now to clean up and repair together. I wish, and I plan to eventually go out and see for myself and do what I can to be a part of that, but my schedule has not allowed that yet. But yeah, I want to help be a part of just being of support how I can, the time of crisis, like just right in my hometown, home city, I guess. Not really I didn't grow up in the city. I'm always been about like 15-20 minutes out from the actual city, but I've spent my time out in different places here that have been hit. It's a wide range actually of where the storm went through. I saw a map of like where it hit, it's really, really sad. And there's just so much, just different forms of natural disaster, how natural are these disasters, and just different tragic things going on all over the place in every moment, which is not a fun thought to have. But alongside that, there is opportunities for healing, and the silver lining, or the positive of just even people experiencing their humanity, of like coming together with other humans to work together with a common goal. And it's very like humbling and grounding to be like in like kind of like survival mode of some kind, which honestly is what most humans are in, which is not, because of the structure and system that we're living in, which is intentionally rigged and set up this way. It's like we're living in the Hunger Games, honestly. It's so weird. Why do they? Yeah, and in the place I'm driving through right now too, it does kind of make me sad, like the things I see and just how people are living, and you can just feel the energy of like where people are at. And it's been many years of lifetime of getting to where people are at, and their quality of life, and their access to resources and information and all these things. I like to believe that like in the age of information, like, ignorance is a choice. Like, we have so much power in our hands and in our voices and our choices. Like, we have free will, and also at the same time, like, some of us are born with more to work with, and some people are predisposed to a lot of health issues and mental and mental health, physical health, addictive personalities, based upon their genetics and their parents, or their, in the womb and utero, like how their mother ate and her trauma and all these things. It's like you set up someone, or you kind of hand down some baggage, and so we all have different degrees of trauma and gifts that we were given. But yeah, it's like working with what we got, and like there's some people that come from absolutely nothing and the most tragic backstory, and they somehow make it to the top of the mountain, that they worked so hard to get out of where they were and create something new. And then there's some people who just stay in the sludge and live in a certain way that's perpetuating the problems that they were born into and adding to them and amplifying them. And, so it's like, why is that? Why do some people choose a higher road, and why do some people just succumb to their environment? Like, what really is that? And I think there's a lot of factors, and there's no like definite answer to most questions. I think that any question we ask, there's like many answers, and it's, who's to say what the number one answer is to certain things. Obviously there's some definitive answers in life, but yeah, my heart's just feeling a little heavy just seeing just people who look very sick and like zombies almost, like walking around. It's like there's these parasites almost that are using people's bodies as a host for their addiction or their suffering. I mean, like, yeah, everyone's life is their own, so it's like, okay, that's their choice, right? But then there's like, okay, a circumstance or experience happens that, so it's like, with like this tornado, it hit a collective, a group of people, and so now everyone's within that, or whoever chooses to is going to be a part of repairing this problem. When someone as an individual goes through something and is trying to repair it on their own, it's a lot harder to see like that it is a cooperative effort too. So it's like, okay, yes, that's the responsibility to do better and to choose a higher road, and also so much of healing and finding inspiration or desire to even do better is feeling like you're a part of something, or that like there's something else that you're working towards, or there's another side to things, or there's a hand holding you in the darkness that you're in. And when you're alone and you're struggling on your own, it almost feels more natural to just decline, keep going down, like if you don't have that will, but if you do have like support, and that you're not alone, and you feel that there's someone else that gets it and that understands you, even a little bit, like having a sense of being known and seen and heard and loved in our struggle, in our whether it's internal or an external struggle, like knowing that there is care and effort to be of support, like that's everything. Like that's so powerful, and so each of us has the ability to, in any moment, like just outreach, even just in a moment of just a stranger, of just like a feeling of connection, that like we're here together, like this is, we may never see each other again, or this is just a fleeting moment, but like in this moment we can be present, we can be human, we can be kind, we can be, making a connection just for that moment. And especially when we see someone struggling, like if I pull up to someone who's asking for money, and I have food in my car, like I offer that food in a moment of looking at them and sharing an expression of love in some kind, and not looking down on them, but trying to see them as like, you don't like, yeah, looking down upon someone is not like, and feeling sorry for them. Like, yes, we can have empathy, but it's like when we see someone in their highest, or we see their potential, and we help kind of pull them up out of where they are through just like holding that energy and not codependently like enabling, or like, like there's a way to kind of try to like, that we can harm ourselves almost in trying to give to others and show them what they're not seeing. Like there's a way to do this that's like, ideal, in a way that can be like a little messy, and that we get entangled or emotionally and yeah, so it's like having boundaries of your own energy and time and resources, and also extending compassion and love and care, finding that medium where we're self-preserving, we are taking care of ourselves and also sharing the excess of what we do have in the ways that we can, even if it's just like, the friends in our lives or our family or whoever, wherever, if you really think about, like, there is an endless supply of love accessible in each of us, in our hearts. Like, that's something that no one can take in a way that's going to deprive you of it. Like, if we are truly accessing, like, love, that is there's an infinite supply in there. And as much as we can share that love and that care, it just amplifies what's coming back to us as well. Like, ideally the intention isn't just to give to get back, but, like, also knowing that the more that I am sharing from a genuine, authentic place of, like, care, the more I will be reflected that back, and the more, good that comes my way, just because I'm embodying and living as love as much as humanly possible, which can be challenging. We're human. We get triggered, we get activated, we get annoyed, we get frustrated with, like, things, like, that's valid. We're supposed to have all the range of feelings, anger, sadness, anxiety, everything. Like, we're not always going to be like, just blissed out in love. But, like, even in those moments of tension, can we, like, pause and just, like, breathe and put our hand on our heart and sink into, like, okay, like, I get to choose how I'm going to perceive this and how I'm going to move forward. Because the person who's hurting me or causing distress, like, usually isn't trying to. Like, they are in pain and they're sharing their pain. And, if we just were all taught, like, trauma awareness or just, like, emotional intelligence and emotional regulation, and, understood that most of, like, the people that are out here causing chaos and problems are deeply wounded, in need of healing, people. And, but yeah, not excusing or like, it's just, how do we really be of support in this world? Like, on a micro scale, in our bubble, in our little world, and also on a global scale. What can I do structure wise? Like, what can I be a part of to shift things? And it's like, I feel this sense of, like, I feel so much responsibility for more than me that is so overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know my place in it. Like, how do I show up and make things better? And so, I have 2 kids. So I'm doing a lot to try to raise them in a way that is setting them up for being, like, solid, secure, healthy, grounded, confident children. I help people in their homes by making their homes feel like safe places through, feeling comfortable and clean and organized. And, I do art when I feel inspired, and I have friends that I keep up with and that I'm there for emotionally, and I offer my support and also feel supported by, for the first time in my life, the past, the past 2 years, I feel like I've really nurtured healthy friendships or healthy relationships in general. But, mostly my friendships are great. My romantic relationships I've really had have been challenging still. Like, it's been a lot of shadow work, like a lot of having to unpack and look at my wounding related to my dad and my mom and my childhood, and, like, those things don't come up in my friendships. They do, in a sense that I can acknowledge it and talk through it and, like, share with the women in my life. But when it comes to with men, it's just been different. It's been and that's maybe not just because of where I've been at, but, like, where they've been at and the people I've been interacting with, and just, like, where they're at, and the things that I unconsciously am attracted to or reach for, even though because it's familiar. It's like the emotional unavailability of my dad, and not just my dad, but my mom, and, like, everyone around me pretty much. Like, I didn't really have adults that I, felt like that I wanted to go talk to about my feelings. Like, they weren't really there, like, they were there as much as they could be, but, like, because of life circumstances and their lack of knowing how, like, they just didn't, they did the best they could, but, like, it's what I needed, in a sense that it's all part of my path and my growth and my learning and understanding of what doesn't work and what not to do, and now what I do want and what it's all part of it, the learning, but yeah, I wouldn't want to pass those things down to my children. That's why I feel so like my life is so focused on being the best mom I can be, which does require me to feeling like good in myself, the best me I can be, most secure and confident version of myself. I saw something that's like we shouldn't be aiming for the best version of ourselves, right? That can be so like that criticalness of, I have to be better, more, heal, and it's always this like striving for more. Like, what if it's like, I want to be my favorite version of myself? Like, that already exists. You don't have to keep doing more to get there. You just like, what do I love about myself? What's when I'm in that certain state that I'm like just there and I'm happy and I'm confident, creative and flow, like feeling grounded and connected and clear, like that version of myself. Like, I don't have to do anything different to access that. I get to choose, like, to put myself in certain environments and do certain things that, find that state, or to connect with people who bring that out of me, or aim even and envision that, if I don't have that with me now, like, okay, what, or if you don't, or, what, if you don't feel like you have those satisfying, fulfilling relationships now, like, write down, like, what do you want? Like, what do you, what's your intentions? What do you value? What are you reaching towards? And like remembering that, and holding on to that. And so whenever you're feeling disconnected or confused, it's like, okay, like come back into that awareness of like, what do I want? Like, okay, I'm going to honor this moment, this feeling, it will pass. Like, feel the feeling, let it out, but like come back into the body, into the breath, into the spirit, into the mind's ability to create and to interact with reality, to make something new and form and create and like make something out of nothing. We get to alchemize our experience through creation, through expression, through our choices, through our voices. Like, we have so much power inside of us. And when we use that with intention and have like discipline and having a practice, like an everyday, just 10 minutes, tuning into that, anchoring into that, like the more that just naturally becomes a part of who we are, and all these parts of ourselves, the anxiety, because I struggle with anxiety like a lot, like most of my life, and I still am noticing like how much of a thing this has been, that I just get this like lingering feeling of like something is wrong and something is going to go wrong and something bad is happening, and I'm just like like, oh my gosh, like something's off, I'm off, what's wrong, what's wrong with me, why am I, just questioning, just like static electricity just like buzzing through me, and like it's so calm, it's just like I don't want to feel that way, and it's so much of just what I've known for most of my life that it's just weirdly almost comfortable, and I think I unconsciously seek just like stimulation and more, and I'm learning to slow down and sink in and just be okay with where I'm at and accept things and be patient and have a vision and know what I want, and also be flexible and be open and be receptive to maybe what I want isn't what I need. Maybe it's not that's not in alignment with something greater or like a bigger picture. Like, it's like not just about me and my ego and my will. Like, what's bigger than me? Like, what am I a part of that is beyond me as an individual? Like, it's not about just me anymore. It's like after becoming a mother, it's like, what's best for my children, what's best for the world that they're growing into and the collective. It's like not just about me and my comfort. So so different somatic practices help me ground in. I love movement, stretching, dancing. My main favorite thing is just taking off my shoes so my feet can ground into the Earth's electromagnetic field, which is so grounding for that static energies, and just rooting into the earth, feeling, I mean automatically as soon as I do that, it's like something just shifts where I'm like, okay, like cool, I can relax, and just being around trees and listening to birds and just feeling present, soaking up some sunshine, which I've been doing a lot of lately, and it's been I just laying there in the sun and just like letting myself just be still, because that's not my baseline. My baseline is movement, going, so it's like, okay, just like no words. Bird song, sunlight, bare feet, breathing, some water, and listening, receptivity, being, breathing. So that's what works for me, and I think that for most humans that would be helpful. And then get into a creative flow that is without, being judgmental or critiquing or trying to perfect what it is, and just like play around with it, like play, creative expression, just like let out the colors and the movement and the sounds, and just like do it for fun. It's not for anybody else. It's not to be perfect. It's not to, it's just because, just do it, so that's what kids do. They ask questions, they explore, they're curious, they are open to new, it's all, every moment is new, and so honest and real, and just what they are, it's not like they're trying to put on a show for anyone else. Like at a certain age, after you go through certain programming and stuff, like yes, that does start to do that and shift that energy. But before the world like has distorted that innocence and what that is, like it's just naturally there, and tuning in and accessing that inner child, and that's really really important, powerful work and play. And I will say, I was not feeling so good this morning, but I took a microdose capsule, and that really, really helped shift something in me. Like my brain feels like it's firing like much more efficiently. So that's cool. I recommend looking into microdose, like psychedelic therapy. Is great. I need my water. But I am. There's many things that help with the mind, body, spirit connection, and repairing that which has been broken or distorted, or the programming that we all have that's like not working out. Like there's a way to rewire it, rewrite it, like get in there and shift the stories, shift the patterns, create a new life, create a new just creation, newness, outside of this very strange world that we're living in. Like there is a lot that's like can be very disheartening and kind of make you feel helpless and hopeless and down, and honestly that's not serving anyone when we get into those states. Like we got to feel that sadness and pain and grief and anger, but not get stuck in it, because we're not able to contribute if we're just lost in the sauce. I don't know, that's what came up. But if we get stuck and there's ways to shift and to upgrade and evolve and just feel better. Like, don't we all just want to feel better? Like, I think we just want good things, right? I mean, I just want to feel good. And sometimes in my pursuit to feel good, I can cope in ways that aren't actually sustainable and aren't actually helping me feel good long term. It's like that temporary escape or high that's not really actually all that great. It's just kind of prolonging suffering in a way, because it's not a healthy form of relief. So being mindful of like, how I'm shifting that energy, and if it's, breath. And I've already said a lot. I'm repeating myself, I think, but just to really emphasize and lock these things in. There's a lot of plant medicine, like plant friends, that are helpful for anxiety and nervous system, different adaptogenic herbs and foods, and I will say clean water is a important thing. A lot of water is very polluted, and having a good filtration system and making sure you're getting minerals, and it's like I share all this, and then it's like this, like, that costs money and it's expensive, and even like there's people in survival mode just literally trying to find somewhere to live, and it's like, but you need to like eat these things, and like, yes, these things are supportive, but when it comes down to it, like, I think it's spiritual, it's energetic at the core. Like, yes, there are things that can help with the complexities of mental health and physical health, and also like when it underneath, at the core of health is like I feel like a spiritual connection to something greater than yourself, and being able to access that place of peace and paradise and home and safety in your body and your breath through intention, through visualization. So I'm about to pull up to my destination, so I'm going to wrap this up now. But if you want to close us out, some big deep breaths and hand on your heart, and however your body wants to move, and sound and anything that comes out, just like let it out. Journaling is really good to solidify and write those words down, get it on a page and look at it every day, and really just like just lock in, you know. But yeah. It's a good day to have a good day. Also, you know, if we need to be sad and feel our feelings and cry and rage out in our cars to some music that helps us get out our big feels, like that's a way to have a good day too. Because after we let those things out, the relief and how much better we feel is amazing. So we can't bypass and try to jump ahead past certain things. Like it's like honoring our feelings and where we're at, and also setting intention. You know? So you do know. So trust yourself. Listen to you. A connected, grounded you. And go hug a tree, okay? Please. It's doctor's orders. And an apple. Apples are great snacks, I'll tell you what. And okay. And play. Play. All right. Well, thank you for listening and for taking care of yourself, which helps to take care of others. And this world, we do need each other, and we just all the support that we can give and receive is like good stuff. So keep it up, and I'll be here. I'm here. So if you need me, I'm just like I'm here whenever. It's kind of cool. We can just put ourselves out here, and then like we're like in this digital realm for however long it exists. Like that's pretty wild. So technology is a wonderful tool to connect and share, and and your voice is powerful, your presence is powerful, and authenticity is key beyond just being happy all the time and grateful. Like I'm feeling sad today, I'm feeling angry today, feel that, let it out. And so okay, well, I will talk to you later, Gator. Okay, bye.